The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and they get
He missed the pit complete. That is crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
Race 7 at Bathurst saw the serene Slovene ease his way to victory and cut 30 points from the deficit in the points. A lap 1 aggressive mistake by a front runner resulted in several contenders having their day ended early. And while virtual hands have been shook, at least one top driver felt the series was not a good fit for his racing style and has stepped away. What does today's race have in store? We'll know in less than an hour when the checker flag falls on Phillip's Island. You're watching the Global Sim Racing Channel and its broadcast of Race 8 of the Tidal Influence MX-5 World Tour begins now.
They hail from around the globe, and though separated by oceans, they gather in the virtual world to battle, to compete, to race. Whether they're former champions looking to regain the title, new and eager hopefuls driving for glory, or legends in their own time preparing to dominate, they're all here for one reason alone: to win. Today we'll find out whose name will be forever etched into the record books. You're watching the Tidal Influence MX-5 World Tour.
Hello and welcome to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Tidal Influence MX-5 World Tour, race number 8 from Phillip's Island. I'm your host, Bill Soup Zahn. With me in the booth is Kevin Brown. Turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is our director, Joe Peak. And the camera locations have been provided, as always, by Dougie Beard. Bathurst was the first leg of the three-leg Australian walkabout, or raceabout. And the event was highlighted, or perhaps low-lighted, by the big one, a first-lap kerfuffle that involved 18 cars and ended the race for several potential winners. Along with the damaged equipment came plenty of hurt feelings. We'll cover all those stories as the race unfolds. But first, let's set the stage here. And one of the issues that we have today is the weather. And if I bring that up, it's cold today, which means the track's going to be sticky. The temperature's only 57 degrees Fahrenheit, but there's a strong wind from the northeast, 26 miles, and 26 miles an hour, and that's gonna make these cars really fast down the straightaways. They're gonna get a tailwind. Kevin, why don't you tell us a little bit? This is the first time the series has visited Phillip's Island. Why don't you tell us a little about this track?
Happy to, Bill. And the first thing I want to point out is actually it is Phillip Island, no possessive. Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit. It is on the island of Phillip, which is just outside of Melbourne in the southeast of Australia. If you don't know where Australian geography like me, courtesy of Wikipedia, all that sort of thing. Right on the edge of the Tasmanian Sea, pretty good. The track itself is really unusual by Australian standards because Australian tracks are typically one of two things. It's either a street circuit reserved for formula cars, which are really, really good on bumpy tracks, I've noticed, or it's a converted goat path like Bathurst or Oran Park. Phillip Island, however, is a beautiful track. It was made for motorcycles. MotoGP has a long history of running here, has put on some fantastic races, and it's a little awkward, I would say, in some street cars. But give you a sense of what it's like to ride around, we have a guide for you right now.
All right, we've got Richard Losper in the GSRC MX-5, so let's do a lap around Phillip Island. As we cross the start-finish line, you'll be approaching Dooham, the first corner, at quite a clip. But unlike most first corners, this is an awkward place to pass. It's an extremely fast turn, and even though the draft can bring you side by side with someone, you'll both be losing a ton of time if you try to stay too wide. Then you've got the difficult curved braking for the southern loop. Toss in a crest and a decreasing radius, and you've got one of the most frustrating corners in racing. Impatient drivers are likely to push wide on the exit here. Stoner is up next, and it's a flat-out blast in this little MX-5. But make sure to hug the left side and not track out, because immediately following is your best passing opportunity, Honda Corner. drivers will need to keep their heads up on lap 1 because things stack up here very quickly. Some dive bombs and some hurt feelings are not uncommon around this hairpin. Then it's time to swing the car to the right and set up for Siberia. It's an uphill bend that includes some camber, so you can definitely carry your momentum around this one if you get the line just right. And it's definitely going to be important to do that because you won't be lifting for quite a while and it's uphill along the entire back section of the track. The course is going to snake left and then right through 7 and 8, and then it gets really tricky. This is Lukey Heights. It has you climbing, turning, and slowing the car around this fast, blind curve. Then, just as you reach the top, you've got to keep the car left and the track takes a serious drop right as you're braking. This is the turn 10 hairpin, which is extremely easy to overshoot. Some brave drivers might try to sneak in a pass, but there's a lot of ways that can go wrong. As soon as you're done though, the exit leads straight into 11. Hug the curb and then track out during the short stretch before 12. Hopefully you got yourself a good launch coming out of 10 because you're not lifting all the way until Doohan again. As the car comes over the rise on the final corner, minimize your steering input to maximize your speed and let her drift back across the track before you cross the start-finish line. From there, you finished a lap around Phillip Island.
We're back at Phillip Island, of course named after Larry Phillip, the inventor of the screwdriver. Let's go ahead and take a look now at the points, if we can bring those up, the graphics. And it's going to be very interesting. Now, Yuris Jelenko, with his victory last week, knocked 30 points off the point lead, and he's right back in the hunt. He's trailing Richard Eklund, who is here today. Now, Evan Maillard sits in second, but again, he has missed like 4 races in a row, so we're a little worried about the Frenchman. We want to get him back here, so see if he can defend his championship. And we go down to, now, 4th is Dave Galink. Now, Dave may be stepping away from the series. His racing style may not fit with what the series is expecting. Hopefully, he'll decide to come back. You see Amjad Yaman in 5th, Sergio Mora in 6th, Carlos Torres in 7th, Dakota Dickerson, our top rookie, in 8th, and then in 40th position is Thomas Zabel. And you're saying, Soup, why is Thomas Zabel linked there in 40th? Well, he's only raced in 2 races, so he's really not eligible to win the championship yet. But we list him on there because if he can put in these races coming up, he'll be able to, we don't want him to surprise you and all of a sudden show up. So keep an eye on Thomas Zabel in 40th position. And then rounding out the top 10, or actually the top 9, is Kyle Potts. Okay, let's go now to the keys of the race, brought to you by Mountaintop Cabin Rentals. Kevin, what do you think might be some factors that could help these guys get to the checkered flag today?
Well, in bullet point form, they are the difficulty of the track, the draft, and the pit lane entry and exit. So we'll start with the last one. Pit lane entry and exit, both difficult and unique. The entry will catch you out if you're not surprised with it, so I hope these guys have practiced going in there hot. Really easy to overcook. There's a decreasing radius in pit lane entry, so real easy to overcook it into there, screw up your entry. And then the exit dumps out right in the middle of the pit straight, and it's right kind of almost at the fastest part of the track. So cars leaving the pit straight will be going about half the speed as cars on the pit straight, and will be right there dumped on the racing line. So if they're not paying attention to their F3 box in iRacing, their information screen, it could get very, very ugly. In real life, of course, there would be a marshal standing at pit lane either holding the car or giving him a flag to, hey, yokel, pay attention to your mirrors. That won't be present tonight, so hopefully everybody will be smart about their racing. Now, the difficulty of the track. This is a super, super difficult track. As I mentioned earlier, designed for motorcycles, best when ridden on a motorcycle. For cars, it's a lot more difficult. You've got these long, decreasing radius corners. Every single corner here is a decreasing radius corner. It means the corner tightens up more and more and more. And with a car like the MX-5, a momentum car, it means you really don't want to get out of the throttle much at all. So these guys are going to be very, very hard-pressed to get the car in, rotate, and get back on the power as quick as they can. And with these short braking distances, it's going to be very difficult to overpass. Now, hampering that is the draft. There's going to be a nice, big, gnarly draft all over the place, especially with that big, huge crosswind coming, or backwind, excuse me. And these guys are going to be trying to take advantage of that, to get into the corner as quickly as they can and shorten that braking distance up. So I foresee short braking distances and short tempers.
Wow, that is some in-depth stuff. And let's quickly move now along to the phrase that pays. Something we've been doing all this season, the phrase that pays. The first viewer to email me after one of the announcers says the phrase that pays that you see on the screen right now gets added to the end of the season lottery with a chance to win $50. So when you hear that phrase that pays, which I'm not going to say because that would spoil it, shoot an email to TI phrase that pays. That's TI for Title Influence. Make sure you leave your name so we can mention the winner at the end of the broadcast. And we'd like to salute my mother-in-law, Jean Vivian. She's doing much better, 92 years old. She was our last week's winner. So, Mama Jean, good job. You got a chance at the $50. And they're going to be gridding up, so let's go ahead and get a grid call here. Now, the Quick 6 is in effect today, so we're going to talk about that as we go through these. We'll see how many of these drivers we can get through. What the Quick 6 does is it takes the top 6 qualifiers and it inverts them based on their average finish for the season. So on the pole, you're going to see Tomiko Kono. Now, he's your 4th fastest qualifier, but he doesn't sit on the pole. Now, outside him is David Turan. He's our 2nd fastest qualifier. 2nd row, Sam McAleer and Sergio Mora. Sergio Mora is the fastest qualifier, so keep an eye on him. 3rd row is Jelenko and Eklund. Those are your points up at the top of the points. Rathy, Overgaard, Yaman, Alan Carr, and Wright make up the top 11. Kevin, you want to take a little bit from there?
Sure. Matt Showdown Malone in 12th, Joseph Arrow 13th, Daniel Kent lucky number 14, Jordy Fike 15, Patrick Fleece 16, Benjamin Nelson 17th, Benjamin Lanowet 18th, your own Urson 19th in that pink Barbie car, 20th is Derek Holland. I think I'm about to run out of time. 21st up, lights are coming on, so let's listen to the engines rev here.
And look on the pole there, you'll see Kono in that yellow car, brightly colored, sitting up there. Right behind him is Taryn in 2nd place. They all get a nice jump off the starting grid. And it looks like Kono's going to take the lead. They're going to slot in nicely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all holding position. Kono holding the lead into quarter 1. Got a battle there between Eklund and Jelenko for 5th position. And is that Jelenko? It looks, I can't see from here. Let's see who that is picking up in 5th position. It's, yes, Eklund takes over 5th with Jelenko taking over 6th. A battle now for 2nd place with McAleer and Taryn. Squeezing up through the middle is Sergio Mora. 3 wide. Sergio Mora has momentum, though, and he's going to get that done as Sergio Mora moves into 2nd place in that black and blue colored car. Moving and making a move on the outside is Eklund as Taryn begins to fall back. McAleer takes over 3rd. Jelenko well out in front. Taryn caught on the outside now, losing more positions. In the battle with Jelenko, in a battle with Eklund, he has the momentum, and Taryn picks over 4th position. Sitting back behind all of this is Jelenko, watching it. Woo, that was exciting through turn 1, and now Eklund is not done. Eklund now making a move on the inside of Taryn, going for 4th position. They go side by side. He's on the outside. Taryn's going to have the inside as they come through that little right-hander, but now the big left-hander, and Eklund takes over 4th. Taryn falling back, and now Jelenko has visions for 5th. Whoa, that was an exciting first lap with lots of excitement up front.
And it seemed to be pretty clean. A couple of guys dropped wheels, but nobody had any big excursions that I saw. A lot of side-by-side action as Bill was calling out through Lukey Heights and the hairpin following and back on the main straight again, Bill.
And it's nice that everybody could get through there and nobody ended up in Siberia, which I thought was a great name for a part of the track you do not want to be at. Okay, let's go ahead and look at our leaders there again. You see that yellow car out in front. Tomiko Kono from Japan. It's early in the morning for him. Sunday morning. It must be about, I'm guessing, maybe 5 o'clock in the morning. He's being hounded by the black and blue car of Sergio Mora. And, of course, my bad rods and cones, thanks to my mom and dad, I'm hearing that's a green car for the Japanese driver.
Mora sneaking up on the inside of Kono.
And making a move inside that green car is Mora's going to look for the lead. Now, Mora's our fastest qualifier.
And right behind them, Eklund and McAleer side by side through Stoner.
They come down, you can see them coming directly at you in the camera. Kono hangs on to the lead, and now Eklund making a move on the inside of Mora.
What an opportunistic shot. Not going to happen. I think he's going to be on the outside through Siberia. Yep, McAleer thinking about it. Not going to happen.
Now they head through this left-hander. coming down for another left-hander coming up. Kono was able to fend off Mora. Eklund, though, right behind Mora for second place. We're on board now with Mora, as you see Eklund making a move on the inside. Eklund, they go side by side. Eklund's going to have the position. Now Mora has the inside, and Eklund's forced on the outside. He's not going to be able to make it, and looking back behind them in that orange car in fourth place is McAleer. Eklund being aggressive but patient at the same time. Something he wasn't able to do in his early parts when he started racing. Now he is experienced. He knows how to pressure, but keep the car on the track. Look at those cars. You go all the way 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Everybody in a line. They go down the straightaway.
You can see them snaking, trying to use all of that draft that they can and try and break the car behind them. Not going to happen. Looking at Arrow trying to sneak in on the inside of Billy Bob right on into turn one. Nope, he's not going to do that either.
So far, very well behaved. As I'm going to look at the standings and see if we have anybody who's fallen back. It looks like everybody is still in the hunt here.
Yeah, pretty much everybody's within spitting distance of somebody else except for 13 to 14. Malone's got a bit of a gap on Patrick Fliss in front of him. Meanwhile, Holland and Torres side by side, 19 through 20, as well as Fike and Lanouette through Stoner.
Eklund now making a move on Kono for second place. Sergio Mora out in front. Eklund now in second. Kono in third, as he's being challenged by McAleer in that orange car. Kono's going to be able to slot into third place. McAleer sitting in fourth. Mora now, our fastest qualifier, going to try to put a little distance on Eklund. But Kevin, the draft here makes it kind of hard to get away from these guys.
And, whoa, boy. Tom Ratchey and Euro Strelenko nearly touching in Lukey Heights. That's a bad place to try and get contact. You'll spin off, get trapped in that sand trap way out there in the weeds and really catch you up. Amjad Yaman closing up under braking. He's improved a little bit from his starting position.
Yeah, if we go back, we've talked about the drivers up front. Let's go ahead and set it from sixth position now. Rathy's moved into sixth. Jelenko's dropped down to seventh. Kevin was just talking about Amjad Yaman. Dr. Ramjet, my mother-in-law's favorite driver, running in eighth position. Ninth position is Daniel Alencar, and wrapping out the top 10 is a nice battle. Billy Bob Wright and then Stefan Overgaard there in a battle for 10th.
Also a nice battle right now, Carlos Torres and Jordy Fike in 17th and 18th. They are swapping positions around ever since Lukey Heights. Right now, Torres on the inside to turn one. He's going to have the advantage as long as he doesn't overcook it. Fike conservative, Benjamin Lanouette behind him, thinks about trying to poke his nose up on the inside. No, these guys are going to shake it up and be conservative through turn two as Fike nearly gets into the back of Torres.
It's conservative, but it's still very exciting. What a great battle going on back there. Eklund not able to pull away from Eklund, or I'm sorry, Mora not able to pull away from Eklund. And the leaders are pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars, all the way back to Tom Rathie in the Tidal Influence sponsored car. They're our title sponsor for the series. And Kono is off in the sand. Kono in the yellow car now into the grass. He's going to be able to bring it back on, but he's losing positions. He gently brings it back on. Everybody behind him being careful. Taryn and Jelenko and Rathie even backed out there to make sure he didn't get caught on it. Kono drops 2 positions. And there goes Jelenko inside Taryn.
And that was all Tomoki getting on the power too early when he missed his apex and refusing to get off of the throttle. Ran out of track, got some air in the dirt. Good save.
We're looking on replay now as we can see it coming up here. Look for Kono in that yellow car. He's following Eklund. You can see him right behind him as they come down to the right-hander. And like Kevin says, he missed his late apex and he's on the throttle. He's okay. Let's see what we're going to get here. Is he still following Eklund? Let's see what's coming up. As we go through turn 2. And he's on the gas, and now he gets it off in the sand. Now he keeps it straight. Now he's full throttle, trying to bring that back, but it's hard to get the car to go fast when you're on the grass. It's bumping, it's dashing. He's out in the alfalfa, but he brings it back in.
And there is quite the battle right now for 5, 6, 7, 8th, and 9th position right now. Tom Radjic getting hung out to dry on the outside of turn 1. He's in the grass. Is he going to be able to slow it down before he gets back on track? He does. He retains possession of the car. Oh, my.
This track is the drivers are putting on a great show, but the track surely is allowing it. There's some great racing going on.
I got another pass attempt between Billy Bob Wright and Matt Showdown Malone through Stoner into the following hairpin. Nearly touching mirrors. Close enough to reach out and pull the other guy's mirror in, I think, just about.
I've seen that done. I've seen a video of that happening.
That is what I was referring to.
Yeah. There's We're looking at Rathy right now, currently running in 9th position. Just ahead of him is Daniel Alencar, and then it's a ways back to Stefan Overgaard. You know, this clean first lap, there was a lot of talk about how the series was getting away and it was getting aggressive. You know, it ends up it was just an acorn and not the sky that was falling. These drivers seem to be putting on a very good show here as everybody's still, all 26 drivers, everybody's clean. It's a nice race putting on as we're on board now with Tomiko Kono.
I'm going to eject to the everybody's clean part. Daniel Kent into pit lane, getting some damage repaired. He was courteously helped in his endeavors to rotate through Siberia by the car behind him. I believe that was not Carlos Torres. I'm not exactly sure. Now we'll wait for the RT to review that, but some damage was involved there.
Well, it's got to have a little bit there. It's racing. Meanwhile, we're on board with Kono looking ahead at McAleer. Kono stalking a McAleer, hoping for some type of court-ordered restraining order. And here comes Kono in that yellow car. There's no room on the outside, but the Japanese driver's going to make room on the outside. He's going to pass him on the outside. He has the momentum, and straight ahead of them, you see 2x2 is also Mora and Eklund in a battle. Oh, they're battling all over the place. Kono's going to make the pass. Eklund's going to go out onto the AstroTurf. That's going to be okay. Mora's going to hang on to, what would that be? Second position, I believe. No, Mora's hanging on to the lead. That was a battle for the lead. Eklund now in second. Kono in third. McAleer in fourth.
Oh, I have a car off. In who? Carlos Torres. He's got some damage on his rear. Looks like he took a hit from somewhere else. This point, he just missed his braking point, trying to avoid the cars in front of him. Shot through, nearly missed both of them, or did miss both of them, but not by much.
We'll see if our director gets it on replay here and see if I can see what we're looking at. There's Torres running in 24th. Oh, it looked like either his brakes failed or he missed his braking point by about 100 yards there as he shot through the corner.
Yeah, and he's in a little menage a trois, if you will, coming out of Lukey Heights in the hairpin at the back of the field. There's some great racing going on at the back, I gotta say. Still side-by-side for Yanni Tulianen and Al Heaton, and Carlos Torres sneaks up on the inside of Tulianen.
Yeah, we're looking on screen right now at Tulianen there. They're running kind of in formation, kind of in a triangle formation there with Heaton leading the way, Torres and then Tulianen. That's a battle.
And, oh my God,
position.
We got to move up to 15, 17. Schwenke, Holland, Messison, Yerson, everybody side by side here through turn 1.
And I see Overgaard losing positions as he went off the track. Overgaard has now dropped back behind Billy Bob Wright. That's a battle that's been going on for a while. Look at that battle on the screen there. It's a pinata full of bees, as I like to say. Always look for an opportunity to get that phrase in. Oh my goodness, it's Masisa in the Romanian flag-colored cars on the inside there. That red, yellow, and blue car.
And behind them you can see the neon pink car of Euron Yursum fighting the neon yellow car of Benjamin Nelson, side by side through the hairpin.
They're still 2x2. A little bump there. That's Masisa, and in that orange car, I think that is
Schwenke.
Masisa and Schwenke going side by side in a great battle. Still going at it.
Derek Collins' Boba Fett car losing out on Lukey Heights. No, Lanouette not going to take that.
So just to show you what you're looking at there, leading the pack is Holland. Now right behind him is Schwenke in the orange-colored car. Lanowet follows them, Massison in that red, yellow, and blue car, and then Benjamin Nelson in the yellow auto parts car, and that beautiful pink and white Barbie car running back there, making up the end of that train. And if you go a little back farther is Carlos Torres, who had that problem with damage at the front of his car. I think that's what we talked about. I think it was Kent that maybe Torres got into earlier. So we're looking from kind of the
Schwenke on the inside of
helicopter now.
Holland through turn 1 gets it done.
Now this train will come up to this swooping left-hander.
Oh boy, Lanowet nearly getting into Holland, who nearly gets into Schwenke. Holland and Schwenke side by side. Holland getting loose. These guys don't want to stop fighting.
They do not. And wait right behind them, that's Lanowet. Holland, and leading the way there is Schwenke. And here comes Massison now on the outside. And Nelson's going to poke his nose in there. Oh, boys, you better behave or this is going to end up... It's all fun and games till somebody loses an eye.
Boba Fett exploring the outside reaches there of the hairpin. That would, of course, be Derek Collins' part.
Massison now on the outside of Holland. These guys are battling. Nelson in the yellow car right behind him looking for... There's nowhere to go. The track is too narrow. Massison with the inside on this little slanting corner, but now they come up to this sharper left-hander. Holland backs out. Massison can't close the door. Holland, Massison still side by side. Nelson in the back, and there goes Torres off into the alfalfa again.
Up front, Moore and Eklund bump drafting each other just about down the pit straight. Eklund looking on the outside to take over the lead. Mora much later on the break still keeps it down into the corner. Well done by Mora. He should be okay over here getting under in the right line for turn 2. He does. Although Eklund kind of looks like he's interested about taking that spot again, but nope, not going to happen.
It's hard to leave the excitement in the back, but we got to chalk up front there. And that is Mora and Eklund, 1-2 still with Kono hanging right with them.
Yep, a couple other battles we need. Oh, Yaman off track on the exit of turn 2. Still keeps his foot in it. Doesn't lose a spot. Ratchy not close enough to capitalize.
There you see the 3-car battle. That yellow car up in front, of course it could be green, is a Daniel Allen car. And now we're back a little bit farther.
And Malone and Arrow have been fighting, and Malone goes wide off on the exit of the hairpin. Keeps it together, though, still in the lead going through Siberia. Arrow setting up well for this run. He's going to be on the inside of Lukey Heights. He should be able to make this happen as long as he doesn't screw it up too badly.
And looking behind them, watching, is Billy Bob Wright.
Yaman and Ratchy side by side in front of them through Lukey Heights as well.
Yaman now takes the spot, but Rathi has not given up.
And
That's
Arrow
a battle
did get
for
the
seventh
position.
Go ahead.
Arrow got the position from Malone, but he outbraked himself in the hairpin, really setting up Malone to get a good run down the pit straight and into turn 1.
Meanwhile, let's go to the front. We have a battle for second place. Oh, it's really close. We're going to look like we might be going 3 wide there as Kono's going to the outside, Eklund to the inside. Mora doesn't know where to go. He dives to the middle. Eklund now with momentum on the outside as they look like they're going to be coming up into corner 2. They go around this looping left-hander. Eklund right there. Woo. They stay in position, but boy, that was exciting. Eklund has not given up yet.
Now Kono just needs to put himself driver's right, get ready to peek up underneath Sergio Mora, and he should be able to get that spot from Eklund. Nope, he's going to wait to see these guys take each other out, and they're not going to do that in the hairpin because they're good drivers.
So they go through 4. Now it's pretty much flat out here until they get up to 6. This left-hander coming up. On board with Kono, looking ahead now at the yellow and blue car of Eklund, and Mora right ahead of him. Kono with nowhere to go. Watches its full throttle here as they come. Now this is an interesting corner up here. As you come and you go over the rise, you got to find your braking point, and then the track falls away. And this leads to this sharp right-hander that's going to be coming up. Kono still trailing. And now you're on the gas. And now, Kevin, I think we were discussing, we think that the tailwind is behind them when they get to this straight, don't you think?
Yes. Let's see. First car in is Uros Jalenko running into pit lane. Yeah, if it's a northerly wind, it's got a tailwind down the main straight, so they'll be carrying a lot more speed down the main straight.
We're still looking at that battle there, and we see Jalenko coming into the pits. Eklund now making a move. There's nowhere for Kono to go as they come up here again. Eklund trying to find a spot.
As we watch that unfold, I just want to point out Uros Jalenko coming in. He was right behind Sam McAleer. McAleer in fourth. Jalenko was in fifth. And they had a chance to hook up in the draft and maybe catch this top three. But with Jalenko dropping in, that makes it a world harder for Sam McAleer to catch that trio battle in front of him. David Terron behind him is just too far away to help them out with the draft and catch up to these guys. But if the top three keeps fighting like this, who knows?
Oh, my goodness. It's hard to get away from this racing, and it's Moore and Eklund side by side. Through four. Eklund, Moore is going to hang on to the position now. Kono has a run on it. Eklund's going to have the inside as they come up here. Kono's going to stay on the outside, trying to get momentum. Going to duck down in, see if he can get a corner exit, get a little momentum. Maybe go up and under, give him a little love tap. Kono right behind him. Nowhere for Kono to go. Wow, you can't get much better racing than this.
Oh, wow. Ratchy nearly spun it in Siberia, was looking on the inside of Alan Carr, got loose under braking, stepped out wide. Yaman goes around him 4-7.
Now, I haven't looked to check, but I'm going to guess that Jalenko likes to take tires. He likes to take just 2 tires. I would imagine he would have taken right side tires on this track. He likes to do that, and he has better traction at the end of the race. Now, the pit window is anywhere we're figuring between 9 and 15 laps, so I don't know, coming in early. Kevin, do you think that the racing up front, do you think those guys are being slowed down by all the battling that's going on, or do you think the draft is helping them go faster as they're still going at it? I can't imagine they're running really fast lap times, so maybe we should give that a check. Oh, no, Kono just has nowhere to go. He's looking on the inside. Eklund on the outside. Mora trying to defend. Kono now, I think, is going to get position now. I think Kono made the strategic move. He gets second place. He might actually get first place.
No, Eklund's got a better run out of turn 2 right now than Kono, setting himself up well for the braking zone in the hairpin. But kind of gets balked a little bit by Moore. Not really sure where to go. He's still sticking his nose in, though. A little bit of oversteering on the power, and gets the position away from Tomoko.
Yeah, if Tomoko ever actually got the position. They were side by side for almost half a lap, and the position stays 1, 2, 3. Now behind them is that orange car of McAleer running in 4th place, just putting in laps, keeping an eye on him.
So, to answer your question, the fastest lap we saw in warm-up was a 49.8, which is about 3/4 of a second faster than what this top trio ran their last lap around. So, the best thing they want to do is run in each other's draft without fighting each other, as Kono's looking on the inside of Eklund, who went deep under braking.
I think the guy we got to keep an eye on, and we like to call it a Jan Koemans, because of something he's famous for, is coming in early, is Uros Jalenko. Now, he's running all by himself, and here comes McAleer now is going to make a pit stop as well.
Unfortunately for Jalenko, he has in front of him the triumvirate of Derek Holland, Jeroen Ursum, and Benjamin Lanouette, who have been fighting non-stop since the start of the race.
Yeah. He's got a little ways to go to get to them, but he won't be there for the pace he's running. It won't be long. But it would be sneaky if he can out there running hot laps until he catches those guys. When the pit cycle,
in?
We're hearing now there might be some damage to Jalenko's car.
Oh, yeah, he's got a lot of damage on his front. I did not notice. I was only seeing the back of his car. So somewhere he center punched the back of somebody.
We're still now looking at Eklund and Kono. They're running second with Mora up in front, 1, 2, 3. Now your 4th place position, the guy back there is David Tarrant. Now, Tarrant is fast but inconsistent. He was up in the quick 6 qualifying. He's sitting 33rd in the points because he just hasn't been able to put this together. This is his best showing so far this season in that, I'm going to guess colors. Man, it's red and yellow. Come on, guys. Red and yellow? Bingo. Ha ha! And there you still see the leaders. Now we're looking at Daniel Alencar running in 8th position. Ahead of him, Showdown Malone. And now there's a new name, Patrick Fliss. He's from Slovenia. He's a friend of yours, Jelenko, and he just entering this series right now. Having a nice debut, running currently in 9th position.
So I'm trying to figure out where that damage from that Jelenko is carrying came from, and I think he must have hit the back of David Terron. That's the only car I can find with damage on his rear end that's up towards the front. Terron doesn't look like it's holding him up, so I don't think it really hampered either one of them. It just looks ugly as this front trio, man. Oy. They're getting held up though by not sure who that is.
Oh, that's the Moose Mobile of, I think, Trip Smith.
And he's off. Eklund's off.
Oh, Eklund brings it back. Let's see if we can get a better description of what happened there. And it really was Eklund just going on the outside of Mora. It didn't have anything to do with the lapped car. He just got pushed wide.
I think it did, but I won't blame the lap car. I think the lap car kind of caught Sergio Mora off a little bit. Mora checked up in a little bit. I think that threw Eklund's timing off. And, just wound up going too deep, yeah.
They got out of rhythm, I think. I think that's exactly what happened.
Again, I'm not putting blame on the lap car.
No. Now, while we're looking here at this battle between Malone, Alencar, and Schwenke, and there you see Schwenke making a move, I think. Oh, that's Alencar in the yellow making a move. Let's go back and take a look, Director, if you can find in 12th position, Sam McAleer. Now, these guys have come in for their pit stops, and McAleer is about, about 10 car lengths ahead of Jelenko. Now, McAleer is our benchmark for pitting. He's currently 42 seconds behind. No, that's Jelenko's. McAleer's 39 seconds behind the leaders right now.
So, what we should say about this is that Jelenko was in McAleer's draft when Jelenko came in. So Jelenko is the loser of these two drivers right now.
And here's a pass for the lead. It looks like our Japanese driver there, Tomoki Kono on the outside. Mora is fending off. He's got it now. So we have a new leader. I hear a lot of drivers saying they're coming in. Daniel Alencar says he's coming in. Showdown Malone says it's time for his pit stop. Drivers trying to announce to the guys close behind because, like Kevin said, this pit entry and more actually pit exit. Boy, if you come out here, it dumps you right out on the track, doesn't it, Kevin?
Yeah, it is a nasty, nasty exit.
Okay, while we're looking there, let's go back, and I'm going to go back to Jelenko real quick, and we're going to bring up the squad championship. Jelenko is the top driver here for what we have, the squad championship. You see it on the board there. He's the lead driver for High Five Association. They're leading the way. Now, their second best driver is David Galink, and Galink has stepped away from the series, so it's going to be a little tough for that team to hold their championship. Now, you can tell what squads there are if you look at their number plate. High Five Association, you see, has an orange number where their numbers are. Each one of those associated. So that's our squad championship. This is something else that the MX-5 World Tour offers. Let's go back to our leaders.
Well, best action on track right now is Malone and Alencar, even though we all expect them to come in right here.
Well, we're on lap 15, and we think this is it, so everybody's got to be coming in. So what we're going to want to do when Kono and Mora come in, we're going to want to see if we can pick up Sam McAleer, and here they come right now.
And there goes Kono off the track.
Well, we talked about it. Now, hopefully he didn't get a slowdown penalty there. I don't think he would have picked one up. So McAleer is as you see those three drivers all coming in there. That's Kono, Mora, and Eklund running 1, 2, 3. But meanwhile, the guy they're trying to beat out, the guy who's running a hot lap right now with no traffic in front of him, is Sam McAleer from Scotland in that orange car with the Scottish flag on it. You see him there.
He has a long ways to go, though, to catch up.
Kono's still in the pits. Mora's still in the pits. Eklund's still in the pits. They're not out yet. There they go. Kono's first out. Eklund has a little momentum, but you really can't get any momentum on the pits, and Mora's going to be third out. Where is McAleer? Is he going to be able to get there?
He's going to get Mora, but that's it. Mora had a really long stop. 3 seconds longer than most folks. David Turan, the only other person... No, David Turan and Joseph Iro, the only people who had longer stops.
So there, now we're looking at... There's David Turan right there. And ahead of him is... I recognize that car. That's Dr. Amjad Yaman.
Meanwhile, that is a heck of a run from Richard Eklund to go off in the wilds of Turn 2 and come back and catch up with the leader after pit stops. I don't know what Eklund did. He must have a hidden NOS bottle in there you guys need to check out.
Well, maybe the petrol runs faster out of his can into the tank, or maybe he just kept an eye on Kono, and when Kono left, he said, I'm going now too. It doesn't matter how much fuel I have in there. So that's something to make sure that he has enough gas to go the distance. So as our pit cycle's gone through, let's go ahead, Director, and bring up the top 10. I think we can set this now. Our leader in that green and black car from Japan, Tomiki Kono. And let's follow up before we go any farther. Kono is coming off, I believe, as he gets off onto the AstroTurf and doesn't lose. Kono, I think, is coming off a victory in the CSSCS last race, if memory serves me right. So he's really on fire. Call him Butter because he's on a roll. Eklund running in second position. Sergio Mora with that bad pit stop running in, McAleer actually has got around. So McAleer's in third, Mora in fourth, Jelenko in fifth, Rafi having a great run in sixth, Amjad Yaman in seventh, David Taryn in eighth, Showdown Malone in ninth, and Overgaard in 10th. Yes?
You're about to get corrected. Fifth is Jelenko, Turan, Yaman, Rachi, Overgaard, Malone is 10th.
There we go. That's why there's two of us in the booth. We do not want to disseminate any misinformation.
And sounds like, not sure why, but it sounds like Daniel Allensar is reporting he's had 2 black flags in this race.
Okay, now, Mora he's our fastest qualifier, and he does have the pace. He's going to get around McAleer. Mora's going to make up for that bad stop.
Eklund takes the lead. Kanoto trying to over-under, not going to happen.
Action going along everywhere is Eklund now in the front. So, let's reset it. It's Eklund and Kono running 1-2, and then Mora and McAleer running 3-4.
Now, Eklund has not officially led a lap yet. All that means is he wasn't leading when they cross start finish. So I'm not sure just how much stronger he feels he is at the front of another car as opposed to in the draft. We see some drivers, like to be ahead of the car they're battling with all the time, and some guys like to be behind them until the last moment. One of my teammates and friends, Steve Brown, he very much loves to be the car in front. He hates being the trailing car. I don't know if Eklund is of a similar mindset or not.
Well, someone who is making hay is Sergio Mora. He's gotten around McAleer, and I really think he's going to be able to close in on these top 2. So we're going to have to keep an eye and see if Mora can bring it in as these guys go down the straight now. We're going to go back to the lead. There's the draft. Oh, you see the draft now. Is he going to go around him? No, I think Kono says no. Let's just stay away from Mora, and that's maybe not a bad idea. I think Kono can see Mora in the mirrors and says there's no need for us to battle now because we're going to make this a 3-car party. You can see Mora and McAleer just in the tail end of your camera as they pull away, as they go through 2.
Hey guys, I was trying to figure out, there were some gnarly tire marks in the last corner. I found out is Derek Holland somehow spun in the last corner. I've never quite seen that before. Just forgot to kind of turn in when he needed to, dropped his wheels on the exit, or on the entry, I should say, and off he went.
We gotta quickly do some business here for our sponsors. Oh, there's a battle for the lead. Hang on, Blondie's Bar in Long Beach. We're going to do our last call in a minute, but right now we're going to look at this battle. Up in front is still Eklund and Kono. We're going to sneak a last call in here really, really fast. Kevin, do me a favor. Keep an eye on those guys, and we'll cut away when Kono makes a move. I don't think Kono is going to make a move, though. I think he's going to stay behind Eklund here for a while and see if he can get some distance on Mora. So let's see if we can get Kono to behave, and we'll bring up the last call. It's up there right now. We're going to start with the very last driver on the track. Daniel Kent had early problems, currently running in 26th position, one spot up. Daniel Alencar, it's the Daniel Show, running in 25th position. Now, the last car on the lead lap in the Moose Mobile, the LL Bean car, that's Trip Smith. We saw him in the grass earlier. Billy Bob Shorten is in the pits right now. Now, that shouldn't be right. And we have, let's go to the lead.
Kono on the inside through the last corner, getting a great draft out of the hairpin. Eklund, though, on the inside for turn 1. That's where you want to be for turn 1, not where you want to be for turn 2, though.
I don't think you want to go too wide through this corner. I don't think he's going to do that. He's going to back out.
Nicely done by Eklund to move over and only allow Kono one car's width and no more, really forcing Kono to use up all the outside of the track. Gives Eklund all the preferred lines there. That was great driving, in my opinion.
But Mora is on the mic saying, telling Kono that Eklund thinks his mother is ugly and telling Eklund that Kono thinks his mother is ugly. He wants those guys to battle, and here comes Kono now, making a move. They both hit the braking spot. Kono's going to have the inside through the hairpin. They go side by side. Eklund's going to have more momentum. Kono's going to be able to have the lead, but Eklund has a better drive off the corner. Can Kono close the door? I believe yes, but he doesn't want to pinch Eklund. Eklund fights back now on the inside as they head down side by side again.
And Eklund's going to be in the preferred line going up the hill through Lukey Heights.
Kono with about a half car length lead, and he's going to take it. Eklund's going to back down. Oh, what a nice battle, but happy to see all that working on. Happy to see all that battling is Sergio Mora, who is right behind him now. He can smell him. He's got the exhaust in his nostrils.
And up in front of them is Trip Smith. Richard Eklund will not be happy to see him again. Trip Smith is the guy they were going around when Eklund got caught out and wound up going off turn 2.
And our apologies to everybody. That was Last Call, brought to you by Blondie's Bar in Long Beach. Blondie's Bar, the place to be, but not really the place to be. The place to be right now is watching this battle up in front. And here comes Eklund again with a run. The wind at his back. He's going to go to the outside as Kono goes defensive. He's holding that inside line as they go through one, forcing Kono wide. Kono drifts over a little bit, leaves him room. Eklund tries to pinch Kono down. They go side by side through one. Eklund with great momentum now as they head to the right. The left-hander coming up this swooping corner 2. Can Kono go underneath? I don't think so. I think Eklund has that spot back. Kono's not done yet as he looks to the outside. Meanwhile, right behind him is Mora.
Kono, Eklund definitely wants the inside. He wanted drivers right coming into the hairpin. Refused to move over, forcing Kono to go over there if he wants a shot.
That's
Kono
good.
late on the brakes.
Good defensing driving, though, by Eklund. He took the inside line and he stayed there. But now Kono has the better drive off of the hairpin as they go through 5, coming down into 6. And Kono's going to get that position. Now it's full throttle. Eklund with drive off the corner. He's got momentum.
And Moore is now officially in this battle for the lead.
There goes Eklund again. What a battle for the lead. This is great racing, and Eklund's going to take it. Kono drops into second, and like Kevin said, Mora is there now, and McAleer has been left behind in 4th position. We're on board with Sergio Mora.
They are going to catch Trip Smith this lap. Hopefully Smith will just pull over on the start straight, let these guys go by. If he doesn't have to. It could be very interesting very soon here, guys.
Kono on the curve got slowed down, and Mora now taking a move. This looks like, is this 12? Yes, he's going through him at 12, and he's going to have them as they come down the straight.
Kono had to bail out of the throttle a little bit.
Now Eklund is happy to see those cars behind him battle, but Kono's wise. He's going to duck in. He doesn't want to lose touch with Eklund. So now it's Eklund, Mora, and Kono. Mora with a great dive into one. But he loses momentum on corner exit, and now Kono's battling back on the outside as they go into the sweeping left-hander of 2.
Eklund deep into two
Eklund!
again.
Missed his breaking point, went in too hot, and Mora has got him there side by side as they come down now this little slant of a turn 3 until they go into the hairpin at 4.
Hey,
Eklund's
Bill,
going to
guess
have the inside.
Guess who's caught up? Sam McAleer's looking on the inside of Tomoki Kodo right now. Or, excuse me, on the outside.
And there's the leader, Smith. He gets a little tap. There's nowhere for Smith to go. He can't make the car invisible, but he does his best to get out of the way. Eklund almost comes across the nose of Smith as they go through 6 now. More on the inside. Eklund behind him. Kono has gotten around Smith. And there's Sam McAleer in 4th position. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's give a tip of our hat to the back marker, Trip Smith, who did a good job of getting out of the way. Eklund fighting back. Morris says no. Eklund breaks early. Morris gets a little bit loose on the outside. Eklund hangs on the inside. They're side by side again. The right-hander as they go through there. Mora has the preferred line. And here comes Kodo on the outside. Eklund got to fall into 2nd place.
Yeah, Eklund running just a little too wide. Gets on the AstroTurf. Can't really get on the power that easily there. Even in these little hamster mobiles, but...
Lap 21, that's 3 to go. Our apologies to the drivers running 5th through 26. We just can't get there. It's just too exciting. There goes Kono to the outside. Eklund being defensive. Mora has the great line because nobody's challenged him. He's going to be able to take a nice entrance into 1. But look at the draft. This could be 3 wide. Mora doesn't know where to go. Eklund dives to the inside, backs out. Kono's going to take 2nd position. Cheering them on is McAleer in that orange car. McAleer now taking a look at Eklund. Eklund dives to the inside of Kono. As they head down through this little slant of a corner 3.
McAleer 4 off.
But he brings it back on. A little breathing distance now for Sergio Mora. But that's not going to last long because as they head into the hairpin here, Mora, Eklund, Kono, and McAleer. Portugal, New York, Japan, and Scotland. And you want to bring in another country? How about 5th position Juris Jalenko now? He has them in sight.
He has him in sight, but he's got to make up 3 seconds in 3 laps. That's going to be a tough feat. Could happen, especially if chaos erupts up front.
They're on lap 22 now. Sergio Mora, a veteran of the series, looking for his first win of the season. Richard Eklund, another veteran, champion of Season 6, looking for his 4th victory of the season. Tomoki Kono, he's been around for a while but doesn't have a lot of experience trying to get his draw blood with his first win. And Sam McAleer behind them, losing distance, our Season 3 champion. They complete lap 22, start lap 23. We're going to stay on these leaders. Unless the blimp crashes, this is where we're going to stay.
Eklund, no, he's off. He's going to have a hard time slowing down for turn 2. Somehow he still does it. Gets the car slowed down, turned in, on track. Kono thinks about taking the position. That's not going to happen, though.
Kono gave him a little tap, just a little tap, but Eklund was able to hang on to it. McAleer back there now losing touch and loving all this battle for 2nd position. Sergio Mora has opened up a slight lead. It won't last long, though, with this draft. They're on lap 23. Half a lap to go, and then they go to the final lap, the white flag. Mora now with a little breathing room. Eklund sitting in 2nd. Kono in 3rd. McAleer in 4th. Jalenko in 5th. A shout out to David Turin in 6th position. Amjad Yaman in 7th position.
And I will shout out to 14 and 15, Benjamin Nelson and Patrick Fliss have been having a great battle for the last couple laps, but it's not this 3-way fight for the lead that's been so gripping. There has been a 3-way fight for 19th, 20th, and 21st. Yanni Toulon and Jerome Newsom and Al Heaton also been going at it for a few laps now as well. But again, not like up front.
Mora, comfortably about, let's give him about 4 car lengths. Now they come down to the draft. Let's see if Eklund can get in the tow, wheel him in.
See Moore weaving around on, well, not really weaving, but moving around on the front straight, trying to get that draft broken somewhat.
And Eklund is gaining, but not as much as we're on our final lap. This is a long way to go for Eklund, especially if Kono's going to give him some trouble. But he makes up ground in 2, but now Eklund goes a little wide. Kono's right behind him. Tomoki saying, let's go, Richard.
Eklund just ran too deep into turn 2, made it tough, lost a couple of tenths on Sergio, allowed Tomoki to close up a little bit.
But if anybody knows how to break deep and make up time here, it's going to be Eklund. Eklund charges in. Let's see if he can make it stick. Mora out on, gets a little bit loose as he goes on the AstroTurf with a little bit of grass. Eklund's right behind him. Kono's right there too. 1, 2, 3. Mackler's not really in the picture.
We are setting up for a 3-way outbreaking duel into the Lukey Heights hairpin right now, Bill.
I think so, and let's see if Mora's going to go defensive here and protect that inside line as they come up. This is a crazy corner as they come up over the hill. Eklund is right there. Mora leaves a little room. Eklund backs out of it. Kono now with momentum as Eklund was on the break. 1, 2, 3 as they come around. Here we go for this right-hander. Eklund is right there. They touch. Eklund trying to give him a little bump and run. It's all throttled down now. Will there be enough draft for Eklund to get there, Kevin?
I don't think so. I think Moore got just enough of a run. Eklund kind of had to bobble his run a little bit. Looks like it's going to be Moore leading it home, Bill.
Here they come to the start-finish line for the checkered flag, winning race number 8 of the MX-5 World Tour, sponsored by Tidal Influence from Portugal. Sergio Moore, second place to Richard Exon, third place from Japan, Tomiki Komo, and fourth place to Sam Mackler, fifth place to Yuris Jelenko.
Quickly to 12th, Jordy fighting Benjamin Nelson.
And a great battle for 6th there as Amjad Yaman just nipped out David Taryn for 6th position. Holy moly.
All right, that one is shaken out, so let's go back to Jerome Yersim, Yanni Tulainen, and Al Heaton. They have half a lap to go for their battle for 18.
Good, we can finally get on these guys. There you see Ursum running in 18th position, being followed by Yanni Tulianen in the Eagle Nest Tavern car. That's one of our sponsors. And then behind him is Al Heaton. Tuliani, brother of Timo Tuliani, who has victories in this. Yanni has not got a victory yet. Jerome Ursum in that Barbie car, the beautiful pink and white Barbie car, trying to hold on to 18th position.
Yanni gets a good run out of the hairpin. Jerome not so good.
Tulianen, he's trying to make his car as wide as he can. They come around the final corner. Tulianen on the outside. He's going to have a little bit of momentum. Tulianen trying, making a move. He's coming. Does he have enough time to get there? It's going to be close. I don't know. What's the call? It looks like it is Ursum and Tulianen at the wire. Holy moly.
Yersim gets it by 1/100th of a second.
Oh. We almost needed more decimal points. Let me catch my breath, have a sip of my Snapple, and we're going to go to Blake. While we're at break, watch the slideshow to tell you the upcoming action that you see here on the Global Sim Racing channel. We'll be back for final standings, interviews, and closing credits, and my call to the cardiologist. Okay, I've called my cardiologist. He's told me to take a couple aspirins and then do these standings. So I guess I'm going to healthy enough to do this. My goodness, what a show. Our winner today from Portugal, Sergio Mora. Second place, Richard Eklund. Third, Tomiko Kono, but those guys were fighting it out the whole way. And what a great race. Mora ran them down and actually got to the win. Boy, I bet you he's satisfied. Tomoki Kono, sorry. Fourth position, Sam McAleer. Fifth, Yuris Jalenko. Amjad Yaman in sixth. Seventh place, David Tarrin. Eighth, Tom Ratchie in the Tidal Influence car. Ninth position, Stefan Overgaard. And rounding out the top 10, we didn't see much of them, Matt Showdown Malone. In 11th position, Kev?
Joseph Arrow. 12th was Travis Schwenke. 13th, Jordy Fike. 14th, Benjamin Nelson. 15th, Patrick Fliss, beating out Benjamin Lanouette in 16th. Carlos Torres recovered from running at the very back of the field at one point to 17th. Mihai Metsison in 18th. Rowan Yersumt 19th in front of Yanni Tulian, and we saw the end of that battle. Only 100th of a second separating. Not bad. And then I guess I'll just run them out. Al Heaton in 21st, Derek Hall in 22nd, Trip Smith a lap down in 23rd, Daniel Kent 24th, Billy Bob Wright 25th, Daniel Allenshart in 26th. They did not finish the race.
Okay, we have Richard Eklund in the booth right now. Richard, can you hear us? Did we catch him by surprise? We'll leave him there for us to give him one more shot. Richard, do you have us? All right, we'll take... see if we can find somebody else to interview. Who we have? Amjad Yaman. Shall we bring him down? Amjad's always there. Amjad, can you hear us?
Yep.
Congratulations. There was a exciting battle up front. We didn't get to see much of you this time. You weren't able to crack the top 5. You know, since we didn't get a lot of you, and since my mother-in-law will be disappointed, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about your race?
Yeah, the first part of that race was just basically a mad scramble in the back of that first pack, mostly with Tom and Daniel. So much fun. It was slow, but it was a lot of fun. Kind of fend them off a little bit, and then somehow I got the jump off of them on the pits. So I ended up battling David Turan towards the end, and at that last lap was kind of crazy. He messed up, and I was able to just snipe him at the very end. And I want to give a shout out to Grease Knives for the setup, because I downloaded the setup in the last second. It worked out perfectly.
How was the weather? Because you qualify in like ideal situation. Then it was a little colder with a wind. Did that wind play much of a factor during the race?
I think so. I mean, it seemed like Turn 2 was a crapshoot. Every time you go into it, you didn't know how the car was going to react. Are you going to push wide? There was a couple times where I pushed wide and into the grass, and that was kind of scary. And another thing was it increased the fuel usage, which had to change my strategy at the last second.
Ooh. Well, nobody knows better how to manage that than you do. Well, congratulations on the 7th place win. You good for the other Australian track coming up?
Which one is it?
Oran Park?
Oh, yes. It's my favorite Aussie track. Bring it on.
All right. Congratulations, and we'll see you next time. 7th place finish for Dr. Ramjad Amjad Yaman. 6th place finish.
Don't keep me that one spot.
So close to the top 5. 7th is almost easier to swallow. All right. Thank you, Amjad. Let's go ahead and bring Richard Eklund in now for Kevin.
Richard, I have a bone to pick with you. I see you're wearing a paint similar to one I made to you, but not quite exactly the same. So I won't admit to rooting against you for not wearing that paint. But hey, a fantastic run up front. Great battle between yourself, Mora, and Kono. Excuse me. But the thing I want to ask you about is you went off 4 wide into turn 2 before the pit stop sequence. When you came back, you were right behind Tomoki Kono. How did that happen?
Well, firstly, you can at least claim the idea for my paint scheme anyway, even if you weren't the one who painted it. But yeah, I got caught out by the back marker there when we caught up to him, and I went off. I just braked myself. So yeah, I went off, lost 5 seconds there, and I don't know how I managed to get it back in the pits. But I attacked the pit lane as hard as I could. I was almost afraid I was going to get a speeding penalty because I only just slowed down in time. and my pit stop was smooth and everything. So I don't know. I guess my pit crew was just making up for my mistakes today.
Well, whatever they did, man, that was awesome to get you back in. Now, did you think you had a good shot at more there at the end? Kind of walk us through the last couple of laps and what your thought process was, if you will.
Yeah, me and Tomoki were having a great battle, and we're battling it hard. Sergio caught up from over 3 seconds back, so and then I made the same mistake almost as I did when I got caught up by the back marker. I braked myself into turn 2 again, so Sergio was able to get by me there, and I guess I wasn't just quite fast enough to get around him. I could keep up, but he was just a little bit too fast for me to pass, I suppose.
All right. Were you trying to drive defensively behind to keep Tomoki behind you, or were you just kind of hoping that he would let you play with Sergio?
I never really drive too defensively, but I was sort of hoping it wasn't gonna try and pass me, but I wasn't defending too hard from him.
Well, I don't know. I saw a couple of great defensive moves from you that I really liked to get the preferred line of position that you would want. So anyhow, congratulations on a hard-fought second. Good run today.
Thanks. It was good fun.
You know, it was interesting. I was going to ask Richard, and he answered it in one of his answers. If he saw Mora closing in from way back, and he did. He not only did he know that Mora was back, he knew how far back he was. Mora was our fastest qualifier, and he ran him down. It's interesting, though, Kevin, to see just how much those drivers keep track of, the guy they're racing and the guy who's gaining on them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the very least, you don't want to suddenly get a bumper in your rear end that you weren't expecting.
All right, now we're going to get to interview Jersum. Okay, somebody say his name for Jeroen. I was going to get it right. I've been working on it. Jeroen Ursum.
Hey, Gil. Bill, sorry.
You know, we got a little bit of your battle there at the end with Yanni Tuliani. That was really exciting. I know it was only for 19th position, but man, that was a good battle going on. How long had that been going on?
That battle was going on for about 4 or 5 laps, I think. I was finally getting a little bit away from him, but in the last lap I was getting too nervous. I lost all my apexes, and he got right next to me. But not enough.
So were you were ahead of him for we only caught like the last half lap of that. So you had been ahead most of the time, and he had been gaining up on you.
We were battling for about 4 or 5 laps, I think. But the last lap I was, or the second to last lap, I gained about a second from him. So I was pretty much in the clear. But the last lap I just
Yeah, and then we caught you earlier in the race, too. There were some good battlings going on. There was maybe a 6-7 car battle that you were involved in earlier in the race that was really exciting.
Yeah, that was really awesome. There was some very good pack racing going on there, with a lot of respect from all the guys that were running there. It was, that was my moment of the race, I think.
Yeah,
that was really awesome.
I thought this track lent itself to some good racing. Was there much difference from the weather for you with the cooler? It was much cooler for the race than it was in qualifying. Could you tell the difference, or do you think that helped, or did it really not matter that much to you?
Oh, I'm not good enough to notice that.
Oh, you and I are going out to dinner because I understand. When I talk to these guys, they're not talking, well, I like a car with more slip angle. I go, oh, man, what the heck are you talking about? Well, congratulations.
I just get in and go.
I know. Congratulations on your ninth. It was a hard-fought 19th spot, so congratulations. We hope to see you next time.
It's top 20. That's good enough.
There you go, top 20. All right. Okay. Kevin, while I look for my sponsor plugs, why don't you give me about 15 seconds of Phil.
All right. Well, a fantastic race that we saw today, especially after, shall we say, a lackluster performance last time out, with a lot of emotions, a lot of close, tight racing today, and yet doesn't seem to be really anybody too unhappy with how things shook out. Not a lot of contact that we saw. All the contact were really minor issues. So, I mean, everybody has to be extraordinarily pleased with themselves, and I think with the amount of great close racing we saw throughout the field, I think probably everybody had a really fun day today.
In full disclosure, I am very close to the series manager, and I know that he is very happy with the show that was put on. It's exactly what the series needed to come back after a rough couple weeks there of controversy in the forum. Okay, we'd like to quickly thank our sponsors, and again, Kevin Brown, these guys are so technical, they have ways of checking to see if you guys are actually watching this. So we have now a spam program that will send stuff out to you if you do not complete listening to all of our sponsors who are responsible for putting this broadcast on, because without them, well, we'd be all racing in the dark. Tidal Influence, an ecological consulting firm based in Long Beach, California that restores wetlands, saves and studies endangered species, and educates children, which is important. You know, children think that the wetlands is this Iceland in the summertime, so it's important that they learn about wetlands. It's for more information, go to TidalInfluence.com. Mountain Cabin Rentals, your best choice for Green Valley Lake lodging. Green Valley Lake is the best kept secret in California San Bernardino Mountains. To find out more, visit GVLCabinRentals.com. And while you're there in Green Valley Lake, stop in at the Eagle Nest Tavern. You saw a little bit of the Eagle Nest car there on Yanni Julieta today. For a cold drink and a hot meal, check out Eagle Nest Tavern on Facebook. Thanks to the companies, equipment, and software we use on our broadcast, iRacing.com, XSplit, Twitch TV, Audio Technica, Behringer, and Aber Media. A special thanks to Eric Eckelm, whose music is not only found here on GSRC, but in TV commercials, movie trailers, iTunes, Spotify, My Bedroom. If you like our music, tell Eric Eckelm where you heard it on Twitter at Eric Eckelm. Additional thanks to Casey DeLon, who also provides music for our broadcast. You can find more of his music at caseydelon.bandcamp.com. And I'm not going to thank the girl at the Taco Bell who forgot to put my burrito in the sack when I got home. Actually, it wasn't my burrito, it was my wife's burrito. And so you get no thanks to you, whatever your name is. Thanks to my mic mate Kevin Brown, our director Joe Peak, Dougie Beard for his camera locations, George Fike and Deuce Allen for their race-specific info. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com. I'm not saying www anymore because it takes up too much time. Along with the archived races and race highlights, we're also at Twitter at GSRC Channel and Facebook at, you guessed it, Global Sim Racing Channel. Our Tidal Influence MX-5 World Tour returns in 2 weeks, 14 days, May 2nd. That's the Holyfield Pacquiao fight. So watch the race and pay $75 and watch that as well. Or for the third leg of the Australian raceabout when the series visits the figure 8 at Burns Park. Next up, the Global Sim Racing Channel is in just a few hours, is the CSCS Round 3 from Laguna Seca. I love Laguna Seca. That starts at 3:30 Pacific time, and then right after that comes the Bootleg Racing League Outlaw Series, Race 2 for the SK Modifieds, 75 laps of circular excitement from Safford. And do not forget to send your comments in support of our proposed but yet to be green-lighted series, Global Sim Racing Channel broadcasts great events in history. You won't want to miss episode 4 when the youthful sage, Ayrton Ellis, analyzes the strategies and techniques of each of the two combatants in the biggest upset in world history. That's right, David versus Goliath. Oh, can you imagine Ayrton Ellis telling about the strategies of David and Goliath? Oh, tune in early because that one's over quick though. And now that the housekeeping is out of the way, it's time for me to say have fun storing the castle. So until next time, race hard, race clean, and we'll see you on the track.